Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's topic, I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, quick tutorial, and it's going to be on caloric deficit. So this is a terminology or a word that you may have heard a lot in a lot of fitness channels, a lot of nutrition channels, and then they try to tell you, oh, be in a caloric deficit if you want to lose weight, be in a caloric deficit, to lose weight and excess fat. So I'm trying to explain that in a very brief, clear way, and hopefully the way I say it to people is easier to understand. So what a calorie is, very first, you probably see calories everywhere when you're ordering food in a restaurant, on the menus, or also when you're ordering on your nutrition labels. There's a bunch of as well as calories. The first thing you see up top is the calories. The calorie is like defined as the nutrition you need to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water. Just don't worry about it. Just it's like energy, okay? Energy needed, and everybody's body has a different maintenance level, okay? So when you talk about maintenance, there's something called caloric maintenance. Now you're like, what is that? Like, what are all these words? Calorie deficit, caloric maintenance. In simple terms, what you eat every single day, if you add up all those calories in that one day, you're gonna reach a number. And if you notice your weight staying consistently the same, that is your caloric maintenance. Okay, you're maintaining your weight. It's not going up or not going down. And usually, a lot of people will be within this maintenance without knowing. Sometimes you'll eat more due to a social gathering or you had pizza or something that day. Sometimes you eat less because you were out, just didn't get opportunity to sit down and have your meals, or you weren't that hungry that day. But kind of at the end of the week, if we add each single day up, there's a certain number that you're gonna get, right? So in order to be a caloric deficit, you need to be below that maintenance level. Okay? So for everybody just trying to understand calories and maintenance and stuff, the first thing you do is you gotta count your calories and measure them. Now I know it's like a tough task to like just say, oh, count your calories and like every single food that you eat. Like, come on. I think it's just a good practice in the beginning. I just feel like it's something you should do. Obviously, if you're a professional athlete or if you're trying to become a fitness trainer, or you have long-term goals, that it should be kind of something that it's part of your daily nutrition and daily lifestyle. It's just gonna count things. But there'll be a point where you get very good at it, and it'll just come naturally. You'll kind of understand that, okay, 2 cups of oatmeal is this much calories. Chicken breast and rice, 1 cup. Like, you kind of understand the numbers a little bit, because we'll notice our diets aren't really like fluctuating for the most part. You kind of typically eat the same foods within a given time period, unless you're going on vacation. It's all you can eat. But that's for most people, you're gonna kind of eat within a 7-day period. Some of the similar foods will be occurring. So it's important to understand how many calories you're getting in those foods. So you just have a number. You need to know your base number. So every time someone wants to lose weight, I just try to tell them that, what is your caloric maintenance? Figure that out. And there's a couple of apps out there that like MyFitnessPal, or you can use just Google, type in the food that you eat and then like the measurements, and then it'll pop up right there for you. You can jot that down just to get a general idea. Obviously, you don't have to be pinpoint like you missed 10 calories or you're over 20 calories, so it's not accurate. I just want you to get a good ballpark, because it is practice. It is something that you have to practice. It's a very, very habitual thing. Like you can't. Some days you'll forget to do it, and then you gotta remember what it is. So there's a lot of practice, and I just want you to get in a routine of just practicing counting your calories. Get you at least your 3 big meals of the day, so you kind of know what those meals are. And sometimes just by like knowing how many calories go into the foods you eat will kind of give you an idea. If you have ever had struggles losing weight, whatnot, it's like, oh, like I didn't know this one had this many calories, or this like cup of oil or whatnot had so many calories, because those will kind of add up at the end of the week, and then you'll notice you'll gain weight or you can't gain weight even though you've been exercising and all that, right? So caloric maintenance we talked about is just the calories that you consume that keeps your weight stable, okay? And then caloric deficit is what we want to go below that point. So you have your maintenance and deficits below here, okay? And we're going to try to maintain below your maintenance for a period of time. Now, how long do you go in a caloric deficit, and how much do you go in a caloric deficit? So how much is usually the first one, because when people go to diets, typically like, oh, I just eat salad now. That's false. I don't want you to cut out everything and just eat salads. That is not true. It's probably unhealthy for a lot of people, and It's very like we're humans. We're not robots. You can't just take away everything that we like and just throw in an alternative that's not enjoyable. We need to enjoy life. We have lives. We have friends. We have social. Just better practices. That's all it is. You can throw in a couple of healthy. People don't like the word healthy because it correlates to tasting bad, but it's not true as well. There's a lot of healthy options out there that taste great actually, and it's just I think our appetite gets like or our taste gets so consumed with like all the fatty and the sugary stuff that when you do change, it's just like, oh my god, it tastes terrible, but you do get used to it. I don't know if you guys have an example like that at home where you've been eating something and all of a sudden you kind of reduce the sugar and it tastes so bad. And you're like, coffee's a big example for a lot of people. If you're having it with cream and then you take it with milk and all of a sudden you go down in sugar and black, like it just it'll taste drastically different at first, but then you kind of start to notice um, the flavor. You know, you start to not notice the flavor after a while, and then when you want to put the cup of sugar in, like, oh my god, it's so sweet. So your body does adjust in that sense. So that's why when people kind of go into diets and things, when they start to measure, they'll notice like, oh, substituting butter out for a better oil when you're cooking foods, like the taste is so much different. Yeah, because you're getting rid of that excess fat and very oily material, right? So just some things to keep aware of. So back to the topic of how much of a caloric deficit do you have to be to lose weight? Well, to lose 1 pound of fat, you need to be in a deficit of 3,500 calories. Okay, so 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound. Okay, so that's the number we want to reach in our caloric deficit. Now, when do you have to do this? There isn't a time period that like, oh, I gotta do it in a week or else like the next week it resets. No, just that over time, when you reach that number of deficit of 3,500 calories, you will lose 1 pound typically. Okay, so on our normal example, we're gonna go with 2,000 calorie adult. 2,000 calorie is the recommended daily caloric intake for an average adult, and I do think that's kind of false because if you do go out to any restaurant and have a combo, for example, it's typically gonna be around 1,200 calories easy, and then like so one meal you're down 1,200. Just there's a lot of we eat a lot more than I think those numbers were kind of established on, and I think our cultures matter too, being in North America versus Europe or in Asia. So 2,000 calories a day. Okay, so if I were to cut out, so if 2,000 calories a day is my maintenance, right? So maintenance is where the steady weight I eat 2,000 every single day, and then deficit is 1,500. Okay, so I had 2,000 calories and I want to go to 1,500 every day. So that's minus 500. So I'm subtracting 500 calories on each day. Now, what can 500 calories look like? It could be one less meal during the day. It can be one less snack. Now, snacking is very big. A lot of people can remove the calories needed just from snacking. A muffin, for example, from McDonald's, can be up to like 400 calories just from a muffin. If you were to cut that out, just cutting out muffins, you will lose around a pound in a week, maybe a week and a half, just from cutting out a muffin. And there's a couple of snacks. Usually the sugary ones have the most calories. And then I'm not saying you should cut it every day, no more cookies, but like if you're having it 7 days a week, just cutting it down to 3 times a week, those 4 days, the subtracting of like 300 calories will still add up. Remember, you're still trying to get to a 3,500 calories of deficit. So if you cut out 300 calories in a week, like 3 cookies in a week, you're going to be subtracting 300 calories per day. I know it kind of got confusing there, but so let's go back to our example. So you have 2,000 calories a day. I want to get to 1,500. And for this person, it was their muffin that they had, okay? So they're removing their muffin every single day. And so every day it's 500, 500. And at the end of the week, so 7 times 500, 7 days, 500 calories, reduction a day equals 3,500. So they'll lose a pound a week, right? So if you subtract your calories by 500 in a week, you'll lose 1 pound. Now you may lose more than initially because a lot of the water weight that tends to come from a lot of food and like carbs, they'll kind of flush out as well. So you'll notice the scale will kind of drop a lot more. But a pound of fat is what I was talking about, right? 3,500 calories is a pound of fat. So that's important. Now it's important to keep in mind that 500 calories could be a lot for a lot of people. Just because if you have 2,000 a day, 500 down to 1,500 calories a day It could be a big change. So you do not have to force that 500. You can do 250 calories reduction a day, and you'll lose a pound in 2 weeks. So instead of having 500 less a day, you have 250 less a day, which could be from a simple pop can, or another little granola bar or something that you do have, that you like, you just have it for a snack. And so having that, you lose a pound in 2 weeks. So there's certain things, I'm sure that if you look through your diet, if you're having trouble losing weight, that you can pinpoint and pick and then remove that, and then you'll notice a change. But it is time. 2 weeks to lose 1 pound. That is time consuming. So you have to keep on track of that. And I would always try to start small. So 250 calories is kind of a good little reduction at first. If you do big jumps, your body may not be prepared for that, and it'll kind of change everything. Or like, I'll be scared. I'll go into starvation mode. So there's a lot of things will happen. So start very small changes first in your diet, and notice how you feel when you cut out sugary, like excess junk food. And you know what people don't realize? If I have a can of pop every single day, right? Say 100 calories in a can of a pop, and I take that out. In a month, I'll probably lose about, for 100 calories in a month, 30 days, I'll lose almost a pound a month from just removing a can of pop in my day. And that's huge. And guess what? You save $1 a day from a can of pop. In a month, that's $30, which you can use for your Netflix subscription, or your Spotify, or whatever, YouTube Premium, whatever you use. So there's also money investment as well, right? If you're buying healthier, if you're cutting out certain snacks and junk, that you can in return invest into yourself through other ways that will help you, keep track of your goal and stay on task. Okay, so I hope I kind of cleared up the concept of caloric deficit. Remember, we have our maintenance and deficits. We try to go below our maintenance. And what our maintenance is just the foods that we eat typically that may keep our weight the same. Now, if you tend to go up in your weight, obviously there's some days that you're going above that maintenance. And there's another terminology called the surplus. Now, I'm not going to go into that into this video, but if you're noticing you're starting to gain weight, then your body is in a slight surplus. Now, these are just calories. It is not the secret. When you just start reducing calories, you'll lose weight instantly. There's a lot of different factors, such as hormonal factors, metabolism, age, sleep, stress, that come into play as well when you're trying to lose weight, or if you can't lose weight. And I'll be breaking down certain things you can do in the future videos. But calories are a very bare minimum, basic step that you can kind of look into and start adjusting right away. And you'll start to notice simple changes within a week. If you do 500, 250 calories, you'll notice a difference in 2 weeks. So you just be patient with that, and I hope you reach your goal. So thank you for watching my video, and hope to click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.